Um, Strength HP growth is probably the most popular one to use for this game. Jackamus is a big proponent of the strength agility though. And here we are off. So
see what we get from the throne room.
Yeah, always a big deal what you find here in the throne room. It really depends, or it's gonna change what you do for the rest of the game a lot of the time. So they did find the Stones of the Sunlight, which is one of the 3 items that are absolutely required in this game, but I personally would rather not find the Stones of Sunlight right away because they kind of just sit in your inventory until you can do something with them, trade them in for the rainbow drop.
More ideal at the start would be finding, say, wings so you can keep your keys, or just an extra key, or even if you're really lucky, something like Erdrick's sword, give you a nice fast start.
Right, like the one that I had this morning when I was doing a practice run. So we got Mcgrew trying to take on a ghost here to start and not having any luck, whereas the Sea Wolf, it gets a little further into the land and takes on a werewolf, which is not a good idea at level 1. So he did save, though. He looks like he's trying to maybe find a town to use his gold. And they're kind of heading the same direction now, although any hopes of a town very close by seem to have been dashed so far. Although we see Charlotte close by. That made for a really interesting race in the one that I commented yesterday that I had on my channel. Oh, and we got metal slimes, always fun. Oh, man. So the metal slimes had hurt, which meant that it would have been a little tougher for Mcgrew to get an early kill of one, but he managed to get an excellent move, take it down, and he gets up to level 6 quickly, and gets hurt more as a result.
Yeah, that's going to give a huge advantage early on.
Jack, I don't know if you're, are you, ahead or behind of me, I mean? I want to make sure
I'm watching on multi-Twitch also, so we should both be about even.
Okay. Yeah, man, that's a really lucky break for Mcgrew for sure. I don't know exactly what Seawolf could do to try to overcome that. Meanwhile, he's still here trying to hit a ghost to get just to level 2.
Still possible that he finds that same metal slime. He was heading in that direction earlier on anyway.
Yeah. At least he's having some success against this ghost. And he does take him down, so that'll not quite get him to level 2, but man.
Just 1 point away now. Next battle, he'll get it.
Yeah. Get something he can beat. Taking on another ghost, I guess. So we have Mcgrew finding coal. Did you see the searchable item in coal there?
I'm not sure that he's checked it yet. He went to the shop and picked up a hand axe and a shield. I don't think he checked the tile.
He had to have checked the tile. Huh.
Oh no, he's walking right by. He must have checked it. I must have missed it.
It was empty, Interesting. Okay. Chat says that it was empty, so I guess that
Empty's not
means
ideal, but that does give you a lot of knowledge right there. You know you're going to have to find an item on the Overworld and in Hawksness. And either or will be the flute or the armor. The token is going to be in a treasure chest somewhere because that spot was empty.
right. The flute isn't necessarily required, or it's kind of more optional. But the armor is not strictly required, but for any fast completion of this game, you want the armor. So the armor is definitely near the top of the list of things that you don't need to complete it, but as a practical matter, you do. The armor and the Erdrich sword would be the other thing.
The armor is especially good. On top of having the highest defense value in the game, you take half damage from hurt spells, you're immune to stop spells, you take less damage from fire breath, you regenerate a hit point per tile you walk, and you don't take damage from swamp tiles or magic squares. It is very, very, very good.
I think you covered everything there. Mcgrew brought a hand axe and a small shield, I believe.
That's correct.
Seawolf, I don't think, has anything. Mcgrew must have also bought a dragon scale, I would think.
Yeah, he's got the dragon scale.
Right. So. You can see the tracker at the bottom update, and it also updates the defense power and the attack power to show the sword and the scale. It is a little amusing that the weapon icon is still a sword when you have the axe, but it can't all be perfect. Oh, yeah, they both.
Game Boy's always refining the program. Maybe he'll make a little axe icon and a little club icon and like a little stick for the bamboo pole or something.
Yeah.
Mcgrew walking all the way to the bottom of Erdrich's cave to find an empty treasure chest. Always fun.
Yeah, it must have been an herb, and he already had 4 herbs, so. Got nothing.
Meanwhile, Seawolf is playing it real safe. He's trying to build up a couple early levels on these safe monsters and conserve his money so that he can spend it when he gets to a town.
Oh, Seawolf
He's found that metal slime.
He has, but he's wanting to get lucky here. Man, I would definitely cast Stop Spell here. And don't let him cast that hurt on me anymore.
Nope, that slime isn't going to run with the stats he's got.
It isn't,
Strength
but
isn't above 20. That slime ain't going anywhere.
He's not going to take it out either before it kills him. I'm not sure what the stop spell chance on a metal slime is.
Well, in the randomizer, anything that has magic, their stop spell resistance, if it was really high, is actually reduced to the standard 1 in 16. So it'll basically always connect. And that's just to avoid any completely unwinnable encounters, like you find a monster that has sleep and hurt more, or hurt more and heal more, and there's just no way to beat the thing reliably without stop spell. Mcgrew is now level 7 after casting Hurt More on that wyvern. Seawolf has found the metal slime again.
I know that stop spell resist was adjusted for some things, but the things I know it was adjusted for were things that didn't have magic originally. But the metal slime did have hurt originally as well, so I'm not sure if his stop spell resist would have been adjusted. Either way, I would be trying it on this metal slime because I would want to kill him, and he's not giving him much of a chance. Alright, he does take down the metal slime, though.
There
That's
we go.
great.
He's got it now. Stop spell would have probably been worth trying there, but at least with a couple heal mores in tow this time, the odds are eventually going to bend in his favor and he'll land his 3 attacks.
Well, Seawolf isn't going to be happy to lose his gold there, but I'm sure he's going to take it with the the metal slime's kill, putting him up to level 6, just behind Mcgrew at level 7.
I think now that he's checked his spell list, the loss of 500 gold is not too big of a deal because he does have hurt more now. There's plenty of enemies that'll drop about 100 a battle. He can make that back in no time.
Right. And agility seems to be pretty low still because having a lot of trouble running from this gold man here. Mcgrew getting another level up to 8 now. And he's found
Quite
Hawksness.
a nice agility boost there.
So Hawksness is something he's definitely happy to see here. If he could get to this encounter at the other side and kill it, there's a good chance the armor could be there. He would be very
50%
happy.
shot right now, yeah. The real question is what monster is on that tile. There's a handful that he can beat just by tossing a hurt more or two, but then again, there's a couple enemies that can be on that tile that resist it, and then he really has no chance right now.
Yeah, that golem is one of them that he has no chance with. So
yeah.
the good news, though,
that won't happen until he's got much better weapons, armor, and hit point totals.
the good news for him is that golem is either blocking the fairy flute, or the fairy flute is on the overworld, and he'll be able to use that to help kill that golem, get the armor that he would have then.
Exactly. Doesn't help him a whole lot in the short run here, but long term he will be able to beat that golem and check the tile. But of course, I think in this case both players are just going to want to check the overworld tile first. And if they find the armor, most of the time you're not going to waste your time going for the flute.
Of course, the question for the overworld spot at this point is then, so they'll be wanting to find Cantlin, and when they get a key, talk to the guy at the bottom of Cantlin who has the hint for the overworld location. If it's close enough to start, then they won't need to rescue the princess to get Gwaelin's love to help them locate the overworld item. But if it's a long ways from start and it's a windy path, they won't be able to count it out, and they'll have to rescue the princess, and a golem could be guarding the princess as well. So we don't know until we find the swamp cave and someone decides that they actually need to rescue her.
Mm-hmm. Even before that, they've got to find keys to be able to access the old man in Cantlin.
Right. Yeah.
Still lots of exploration to be done by both players.
Definitely. But at least now they're on a fairly even ground.
Yeah, the difference between level and experience really isn't a whole lot right now. They both have hurt more. 400 experience is not a big deficit to make up. See, Wolf just found that was Erdrick's cave. He's just testing the walls to see which cave it is. He should know that that's Erdrick's cave now.
Right. You can tell within 4 steps of the entrance of any cave, which one it is.
Mhm.
Apparently he's confused. I'm not quite sure what he's doing.
Looks like he's going to try to bonk his way through. He's going to be very disappointed. Mcgrew found the swamp cave. It's the only cave in the game that has both an entrance and an exit. So in this case, the exit to the cave could be in the basement of Tantegel or the back door of Garenham. In both cases, it's not a bad idea to go through that cave, because if it goes to Tantegel, you can buy keys. If it goes to Garenham, you get 3 chests.
And one of those chests could be a key, or it could be the sword.
So I imagine Mcgrew, after being so viciously eaten by that red dragon, is going to head right back there and try to get through again.
Right. Sometimes you get really close to getting somewhere in this game below, and then you think that means that you can eventually get through if you just keep trying, and you get spit back out by the game over and over again.
Yeah, it can be really rough that way, but just speaking from experience, I find it's better to be stubborn and just keep trying to get to that one place that you died 5 or 6 spaces away from. Because if you give up and go somewhere else, well, you don't know where you're actually going. Like, that's the one thing that you actually know. Hey, there's something here. Might be worth my time. I should keep trying to get there. And as long as you're still knocking enemies down on the way, you're still accumulating experience. You're not quite completely wasting your time trying.
And again, it depends. If you're taking 20 steps and then getting knocked down by a red dragon, then maybe not worth your time.
Yeah, red dragons, and early in the game at least, armored knights. If you're trying to run through a zone that they're in, it's probably not worth the effort, because they're basically impossible to get away from and will kill you in 1 or 2 hits tops.
Mcgrew has found Cantlin. He is happy to see this, but of course he doesn't have any keys yet, so I'm not sure what he's going to be buying here. I'd expect maybe a half plate. That looks pretty good, but apparently just checking things out for now.
Probably just scouting ahead for whenever he does the gold grind. See if there's a silver shield up for sale here.
Oh, maybe he was looking for a large shield first, and then decided to settle for the half plate when he didn't find the large shield. The large shield, though not necessarily better than the half plate, the half plate is something that would be replaced eventually in pretty much every run by the Erdrick's armor at some point. Whereas the large shield is something that you could be finishing the game with a large share of the time. Got a couple of towns right next to each other here.
Nice little cluster, but still no rule there. Still looking for the all-important keys to just break the game open.
No, so if there's nothing below, or if there's nothing at any of the 3 searchable spots, that means that the Erdrick's token is in a chest. So, you're guaranteed to see both the fairy flute and the Erdrick's armor in 2 of the 3 searchable locations, but the Erdrick's token could either be in the 3rd searchable spot or in a chest. So, yeah, right. Obviously, you'll find out that it's in a chest in one of 2 ways, either by finding it in a chest or by finding that there's nothing in one of the searchable spots.
So Seawolf has just gone through coal. He's picked up a hand axe, a small shield, and dragon scale. Same start and set of equipment as Mcgrew picked up.
Oh, large shield was in that shop and he didn't buy it? I wonder why he didn't buy the full plate from the, or the half plate from the first shop then. It's interesting. Doesn't seem that way.
Mcgrew bought the half plate.
Oh, yeah. He did buy the half plate eventually. I'm sorry. Mcgrew did buy that, yeah. But he passed up the half plate the first time he saw it, and then he eventually bought it from the second shop, so I'm not sure why he did that, but Mcgrew has now found Grimaldar, which completely changes the seed for him.
Yeah, keys will allow him access to basically every corner of the game, and he's found a lot of towns and places where keys are required. Although at the same time, Seawolf has found the Mountain Cave. 5 treasure chests in there, so both players are finding some really interesting locales right now.
Yeah, the Mountain Cave has 5 chests, and you don't need any keys to open any of them. The Grave of Garen also has 5 chests, but you need a key to access 2 of them. So, Mcgrew checking the chest that costs him 2 keys in Grimaldar. And he just gets 120 gold for his effort.
Not exactly worth it, but you really should be checking every treasure chest, at least until you are dead certain that you have all the important items.
I expect now we're going to see Mcgrew head back towards Garanham, probably. Or, well, Garanham or Cantlin. Both of those are good places to go. Garanham, you can check those chests in the back, and Cantlin, you can get his coordinates for the Overworld item. So if he's in Cantlin now, and we're going to find out soon exactly where that item is on the Overworld.
We'll see if the princess will be making her cameo in this race or not very soon.
$61 south and 1 west. I don't know if there's a direct path, but that definitely sounds potentially doable.
Well, even if there's not a direct path, if you only have to make minor east-west corrections, you can mentally keep track of that as you move south.
Right.
I think personally I would try to count out 61 and 1.
Yeah.
61 is a concern, though. Any number over 50 is definitely tough to count out manually.
Right. It's not necessarily counting it out that's difficult. It's when you get encounters in the middle of counting that really makes it difficult, because it's very easy to lose your place. And of course he's got this huge swamp in the middle. That's not something that he exactly wants to count through.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like he's going to try anyway.
Yeah. I'm not surprised to see him cast Repel. Always easier to count when you don't have those little monsters popping up every time.
The swamp is definitely an issue. Yeah, you can see that he's moving very carefully, very deliberately, so he is counting it out right now. Seawolf looks like he's gradually making his way back to the mountain cave he found earlier.
And you don't want to rescue the princess because of the time it takes to both rescue her and then return her to the castle. And then at the end of the game, it'll add a few more seconds to your ending cutscene too. So if you can do it without rescuing the princess to get her compass, you really want to do it that way.
Seawolf's found Rimmeldar, so he's going to have keys now too.
Yep.
Race is pretty tight so far.
Mcgrew might have it here, but not quite sure.
Close.
If he's counted his south correctly, then he's probably going to get it soon. We'll know if he's really desperate if he switches up or down a row soon and starts moving along that row.
He looks pretty confident in his south movement here. It's just that switchback going east after he went a fair distance west.
Yeah, but he did... Huh. Thought he maybe skipped a couple of spots. I don't know.
He knows he's in the right ballpark, at least. He'll search every visible tile on the screen if he has to at this point, I think. He's pretty committed to this now.
Well, it paid off for him, finally.
It was one of those tiles that he walked over earlier. Yeah, but he's got the Erdrick's armor now.
Yeah. So that gives Mcgrew the Erdrick's armor.
Seawolf not having any luck getting away from those red dragons today. Then again, no one ever has luck getting away from red dragons. They are the worst. Seawolf's got the Staff of Rain from the treasury. No gold in the treasury though, so they're probably going to have to try an alternate way to use the gold duplication glitch, if they can. Depends on what's in the basement of the castle.
Mcgrew now up to level 11, giving him a 2-level advantage on Seawolf right now. Looks like strength is a bit low for this point, but agility's and HP and MPL looking fairly decent.
So it looks like the jerk is in the Tantacle basement. So there won't be any gold duplication on this seed. So I imagine both players are going to finish the game with a large shield in hand, unless they run into a nice streak of luck while they're grinding, never die, and manually save up the just about 15 grand for the silver shield.
I feel like the gold duplication used to be a lot more important in the beginning days of Dragon Warrior Randomizer, when we didn't have the faster experience curves. But the most popular way to play it now is with the fast leveling, which has the experience benchmarks at 75% of what they would be in the vanilla game. And the game moves a little more quickly, and it's not as worth spending your time to grind up the gold to get a silver shield in this. Still can be useful if you do it early, but...
Well, the silver shield can still be very useful later on as you're grinding out the last couple of levels. There's certain numbers that your defense stat can get to, where all of a sudden certain enemies start dealing way less damage than they did even 1 point of defense ago. We call
Right.
it breaking the enemy. The most they can hit is 17. They will swing 0 to 17 damage if your defense is over a certain number.
Mcgrew's, did he just place the bridge? I didn't know that he
Yep.
had the token. Oh yeah, that's right. Huh. Well, apparently Mcgrew had the token in the drop because he's already placed the drop. So I don't know where that token was.
I think it was in the treasury at Garenham.
Let's see. So I don't think we've seen Seawolf find Garenham encampment yet, have we? And then it seemed like it was near Rimmildar, kind of, based on the order that Mcgrew found things, but
Mcgrew still hasn't found the mountain cave, I believe, so I imagine that's what he's looking for now. Check and see if Erdrick's sword is down there.
so these armored knights have hurt. That's always a pleasant thing to see. That means that they'll be a bit less of a menace later in the game, and they might be something that's good to grind on later in the game as well.
It's always a nice little boon to find some of the stronger enemies in the game wasting tons of turns on stop, spell, or hurt.
Yeah.
Doubly so if they happen to be one of the forced battle tiles, either in Hawksness or right in front of the Dragon Lord, if you want to get a little adventurous with your grind spot.
Right. Particularly in Hawksness, that one's usually pretty easy to get to. Grinding in front of the Dragon Lord can be a bit more taxing. So I don't know if Mcgrew has found the mountain cave yet. He might be making this dive into Sharlock for the sword without knowing that the sword is in here.
It's not a bad risk to take, though, because the enemies are going to give much more experience in here than they would anywhere else.
Right.
So even if this doesn't pay off, he's going to develop a pretty good level advantage as long as he can keep killing enemies on his way down.
Yeah, there certainly are advantages doing this. He's got to level up anyway, so if he can do it while he searches for the sword, then that's great. A lot of times when you're searching through the mountain cave in the Grave of Garen, you end up finding a bunch of red slimes and Drakes and stuff that aren't going to give you anything.
Yeah, they're just little time wasters. They're not even worth the press of A to beat them. Faster just to run.
Mcgrew moves up to level 12. Still with pretty low strength. His HP and MP are really already at a level where he could finish the game, but the strength and agility need to go up a little more before that could happen.
Particularly the strength.
Right.
Going to need bare minimum another 30 points of strength to reasonably have a shot at the Dragon Lord. Agility would definitely be nice to have a higher amount. It'd make it a lot easier to get down there at the end of the game. Give you a more reliable chance to run away from some of the tougher monsters.
Yeah. In my practice seat I did this morning, I had an early level, like 13 or 14, where all my stats were good to go except for the agility, which was in the low 60s. and there were a lot of bad encounters that I knew I was going to get in Sharlock because of what I had been seeing throughout the game. So I said I was just going to get another level right away and not even try to go through Sharlock. You need that agility to run through.
Anything that can stack the odds in your favor in this game is good. Otherwise, you're just rolling dice and hoping for the best. Which I suppose is, you know, you could summarize basically any randomizer that way. In a nutshell, you're just rolling dice and hoping for good results. You hope that you find the nice things before everyone else does in a race. Or you get that lucky crit. Or just that extra stat gain from a level. Anything to give you an edge.
And
We're
I'm
having a
almost,
pretty rough go from this armored knight.
yeah. I'd be tempted to skip using the second hurt more and just attack him to finish him off if he's going to keep using those hurt spells.
It's definitely a risk that could pay off, but he's only one really small floor away from the treasury. No sense taking big risks right now.
Yeah, I guess his MP is pretty good, so...
And his objective is to track down that sword, not to kill every single thing that gets in his way. Some monsters are definitely still better to run from right now. Just to conserve enough resources to make it down there, but he should be fine now.
Oh man, more failing on the Star Wyvern, that's pretty unlikely.
Just a 1 in 16 chance to fail if memory serves.
Sounds right.
Never fun seeing that.
Just conserving his MP a little, trying to get to the treasury here. I'm guessing he's going to find a couple of things he's looking for here. He won't say no to a key and a nerve, but that's not what he's wanting.
Nope, he's looking for that sword primarily, though the fighter's ring would be a nice little bonus.
Yep, so one of those things is not here. There's a fighter's ring. So the sword is either in the vanilla Riddick sword chest, which is a little ways back in the castle, or it's in Garenham, perhaps. I don't think those chests have actually been opened. Or maybe the Grave of Garen.
Yeah, there's still lots of places that it could actually be.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting to see this.
Mcgrew built that rainbow drop pretty quickly. Didn't have to open a lot of chests to do it.
Right. Oh, here we see Seawolf coming into Garenham through the back door, and he does find the Riddick sword. So, yep. That's a big find for Seawolf.
That'll bump his attack up a further 25. So that's the last chest that Mcgrew is going to need once he gets over there. After that, he's set. He'll probably just want to pick up a large shield for a little bit of extra defense, and then he's just going to probably start grinding levels for the end of the game.
So we do have Seawolf with the Riddick sword now for a weapon. Uh, yeah, I don't think that Seawolf has the Erdrick's armor yet, and I don't think he has the token either.
No, those are both items that he's missing right now. He is right by Cantlin. He doesn't know that yet. But he should be getting his coordinates pretty soon. It's pretty hard to miss Cantlin from where he's at. And Mcgrew is going to go for a silver shield. He's just taking this old man's money all day, every day.
Huh. Kind of unexpected to see a slow grind like that happening. But, I guess he doesn't have even a large shield yet, so he feels it's worth it.
Seawolf's upgraded to a half plate. Wisely checking his key count. Make sure he's not using that last one.
Right. Because you can get more keys in Cantlin, but you need to use a key to get them.
Seawolf writing down those coordinates right now. Or typing them in, maybe, is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Activating emulator functions by mistake. Outside doesn't work in towns, I'm afraid, Seawolf.
Yeah. And we see Seawolf take the Death Warp out of Cantlin the same way that we saw Mcgrew do earlier.
He's heading right out. Is he going to count this out too? Yeah, he's counting it out.
I expect to see him pass Repel right now. There it goes.
Yep, that first little slime after you leave the castle is always a reminder. Cast Repel, you fool. And he's just taking all that swamp damage like a champ. Not messing around with having to count a whole ton of west and east shenanigans.
Yeah. Well, this is easy to remember because the bottom left corner of the castle wall looks like 25 south and directly south of the job. So it's a good benchmark.
Yeah, that's
right there, sure.
another thing to have good practice whenever you're trying to count out coordinates, is just make like a little mental landmark every so often as you go, just in case something silly happens and you die and have to start over. You're not counting stuff you already counted. You just go to your landmark and continue from there. He's just a couple tiles away from it right now, so he should be picking up that armor any moment.
Meanwhile, looks like Mcgrew's at 10,000 gold, so I guess he decided to go part way, but not all the way up to his silver shield.
I think he's guessing the time it takes him to gain another level, he'll have made up the difference in gold.
Right. We see that the red dragons, who we affectionately refer to as the Fun Police, have sleep in this seed. That's never exactly a good thing.
They're bad enough without any moves, really. Actually, with that amount of gold, I wonder if Mcgrew is just going to pick up a flame sword since he wasn't able to track down Erdrick's sword. Maybe that's what he's thinking right now. Give him some sort of decent weapon as he tries to find where the sword is.
Not quite sure. If I were him, I would be expecting to find the sword pretty quickly at this point. There are only so many places you can go on the map.
Oh, Seawolf lost count. He's going to have to start over. He was right there. He walked a little too far south. But yeah, this goes right back to what we were just talking about. It's always good to try to make a little landmark. He wouldn't have to count all this early stuff out again. He could just walk to, say, like the corner of the Sherlock wall, which we said was about 25 or so, I believe.
Yeah. Mcgrew moves up to level 13. Power by 4. Magic by 5. Not the worst level ever, but nothing that really stands out there. Oh, we have Seawolf still trying to count.
Oh. It's right behind him. Is he gonna? Oh, he turned around. He's got it.
There we go. He'll be happy to see that for sure.
So Seawolf is looking pretty decked out there. He just needs to track down that token and get his rainbow drop.
Right.
And ideally, just pick up a large shield along the way somewhere. A little extra defense always helps.
Whenever you get a moment, Fiesel, we have a couple things to update. So Mcgrew has another level, and then Seawolf has the Erdrick's armor now. It's surprisingly tough to track everything in this game, especially when you're watching two people. So now we have Mcgrew picking up both a flame sword and a large shield. So, interesting combination I wasn't quite expecting. Maybe he was thinking about grinding for a silver shield and then figured he'd stick with what he got just there.
He just wanted a better weapon than a hand axe while he looks for the sword. But as long as he remembers he hasn't actually gotten those chests in Garenham yet, he's going to be very, very disappointed in less than a minute after having grinded 10,000 bucks for a sword he doesn't need. Seawolf's heading back to Hawksness. I guess he really wants that fairy flute, just in case. Mini-boss in front of Dragonlord could be a golem. Definitely nice to have a flute in that case, so you're not burning extra heal mores before you have to fight the final boss. And alternatively, the golem is worth 255 experience, so he could get the flute and grind this golem for a little while. It might not be the fastest thing, because the flute does take a good 5 or 6 seconds every time you use it. But the per battle experience really can't be beat.
So Mcgrew now has the Erdrick sword to go with his large shield, and these guys are both on a fairly equal footing here. Huh. I'm always happy to see a golem that casts a lot of spells, because you can just use stop spell on him, which is much faster than casting a fairy flute, and you don't have to cast stop spell repeatedly. You can just, like you would have to with the fairy flute whenever he wakes up.
Yeah. You just fire stop spell and forget about it, and the odd time that he decides to actually physically attack you, they've got heal more, so this golem is actually a pretty good grind spot in this seed.
Right.
Only about 1,000 experience points separating the players right now. They're both basically set for the end game in terms of equipment and items now.
Right. But
so what this is going to come down to, in the late game here is really who's got the better grind going on. Who can get that all-important breakthrough level faster and start making attempts to finish this thing off.
I do like Seawolf's grind spot here. There is an issue because the Golem does have Dragonlord Fire Breath as well. But so it's a little dicey when he's only got 60, 70 HP.
I think he realizes that too because he just left.
Yeah. I would still kill them if I see them, like right now, for sure. They're not gonna be able to chain those breaths on you. You can just use the flute if you really need to. If you're casting Stab Spell, that is, anyway.
Yeah.
It's if you get to put this to sleep, then it's all over.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't really fight a golem or a red dragon or an armored knight for that matter that have sleep without using a stop spell on them first. It's just not going to work. See, Wolf's still looking for that token. Last thing that he needs.
So, Fizel, as an update reminder, the Mcgrew does have the Erdrick Sword and a large shield. Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah, that sounds interesting.
A web app actually isn't a bad idea because then everyone who's on the commentary can kind of share the responsibility for the tracker.
How many dab jokes do you get from in the chat? People watching?
Siebel's going to go restock his keys. Mcgrew just hit level 14. Still not nearly enough strength to be making an attempt there, but the agility stat's looking a lot better now.
Yeah, for sure. Agility, I'd be happy with that agility. But strength...
75 is pretty average in terms of agility. There'll be a fair amount of stuff. The easier enemies in Charlock aren't going to be much of a threat with that level of agility. Like werewolves, wizards, and possibly star wyverns should all have broken attacks with that agility, I believe.
I expect we're going to see Mcgrew try to check out the encounter on the bottom floor in front of the Dragonlord now. The premise behind the forced encounter there is that there used to be a forced encounter right outside of Camplin in the original Dragon Warrior game, but since we have a randomized map here, it obviously just can't block Camplin since Camplin can be anywhere. So instead, Mcgrew decided to move it right in front of the Dragonlord. So you'll see a certain tile where they'll have to fight a battle in front of the Dragonlord. Which can be a bad thing if you're on your way to fight the Dragonlord and you get an encounter there you don't want. Or it can be a good thing if it's something you want to grind on.
Yeah. Or if you have that odd situation where you're maybe 700-800 points away from a level and it's something really easy, you might as well fight the 3 or 4 more battles and turn a possible coin flip Dragonlord fight into a laugher just with a few extra stat points.
Yeah.
And since Mcgrew is still going to have to gain at least one more level, but most likely we'll be looking at 2 or 3 with where the strength is at, it really can't hurt to know what enemy is on that tile. So right ahead of time, he can already plan if he needs to burn a stop spell or a heal more or whatever resource he needs to get past that tile whenever he makes the attempt to finish the game. Seawolf getting that lucky metal slime kill. Getting some extra experience.
Seawolf is about 1,500 experience behind. He definitely needs any advantage he can get right now to get caught up a bit.
Really, his only chance is to get the rainbow drop ASAP and start fighting monsters inside Sharlock where the experience is good. That golem tile isn't too bad in this seed, but it does take a good 5 or 6 whacks to put that golem down.
Well,
So even though the encounter rate is going to be spread out more inside the castle, the fights are going to go faster than fighting a golem over and over again.
I don't know, because you get the 255 experience for one column. There's only 3 things in this game that give 255 experience. And it's not the original game, but in this randomized version. A metal slime, a red dragon, and a golem will all give 255 experience. Everything else gives, I think 180 is the most anything else does, maybe? Blue dragon is 180?
That's right, blue dragon, yeah.
And there's a few other monsters that give in the 100 to 200 range as well. Like this Star Wyvern here, that they're both fighting at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Star Wyverns are kind of irritating, though. They have a surprising amount of hit points for only giving out 105 experience points. You're better off fighting wizards or green dragons. They both have, on average, 15 hit points less than a Star Wyvern, and give 20 and 35 more experience points, respectively.
Yeah. A green dragon, it feels like, will die about half the time to a hurt more. But a Star Wyvern, maybe a quarter of the time.
And the mini-boss in front of Dragon Lord is a Stone Man. Stone Man with Hurt More. So they're going to want to save 2 MP for a stop spell as they're getting up to Dragon Lord there, depending on what their attack is. Stone Men have a lot of hit points, but their defense isn't great. Usually, endgame stats, it'll average 4, sometimes 5 attacks to beat one.
Yeah, I would be more than willing to grind there. All you have to do is walk on, cast stop spell, and hold down A to victory. Or he's casting sleep. I wouldn't even bother with sleep. I would just do stop spell and let him cast hurt more to his heart's content.
Mm-hmm. Stone Golems are pretty vulnerable to sleep for an endgame enemy, but sleep wears off after a while, whereas stop spell it sticks and he's done, no more magic the rest of the battle. It's definitely the more reliable spell. But it looks like he is going to grind on this Stone Golem for a little bit. He's basically out of MP though, so he won't be able to stay here too long. Mcgrew will be hitting his next level up at 7,500 experience points, so that'll be 2 battles away now. Unless he runs into a blue dragon, but he's just gonna walk right back in and fight the stone man again. Seawolf finally got his token, so he'll be picking up that rainbow drop and start, presumably he'll start leveling up in Sharlock also. Try to close that experience gap. That's what's separating both of them right now. Virtually identical setups otherwise.
So Mcgrew gets an amount of power at a level up that you'd normally be happy with, but 6 power isn't going to get him to the strength benchmark that he needs to be able to beat the Dragon Lord.
Nope, not yet. You'd still want at least another 20 strength to feel pretty safe about trying it right now. You could maybe subtract, you know, you might be able to do it with another 15 or so points of strength as long as the MP gains keep scaling as well as they have been so far. But I really wouldn't try it with anything less than 80 strength.
Yeah, 80's about what I look for as a minimum.
So for Mcgrew, it's a quick trip to the Magic Man in Tantagold, and he'll be right back in there getting more experience. And Seawolf is going to go pick up his rainbow drop, and, well, it's grinding time.
Yeah, I expect this is probably going to look pretty similar for both of them for the rest of the seed. Seawolf, of course, still doesn't have that fighter's ring, so we'll probably see him head towards the treasury in Sharlock.
Yeah, a little secondary goal while he's building experience. There's really no reason not to at this point, because there's still a lot of leveling to be done.
Yeah, but what? Why is he saying Metal Slime introduced himself? And he said no. You gotta at least take a swing at him, right? Or is it just not worth the time? He figures he's gonna hit him once or twice and then he'll run. I enjoy the challenge of killing metal slimes.
Always feels nice to land that excellent move on a metal slime. He ain't running away today, no sir.
Seawolf gets his level up to 14. You see that's definitely not sufficient to beat the game. Mcgrew taking an early death in Sharlock there. That's interesting. Still had 116 MP to use.
Guess he's really wanting to just get back to that stone golem spot from the looks of it.
I don't know if the I don't know if I don't remember if the blue dragon had any special spells or anything that gave him trouble, or
I'm not too sure, because basically every blue dragon that we've seen has gone down in 2 castings of hurt more. It's been pretty reliable for what's effectively 50% odds to land on one of those.
Mcgrew must have been trying to run.
Mcgrew looks like he's going to go restock his herbs.
Yeah, that's interesting that he's using a key there. I can't say that I've ever done that, but it does aggravate me how long you have to walk just to get back to this item shop in Coal.
I've used the key there before, whenever coal's the only town nearby and you really just need a stack of herbs or you need to pick up an extra torch for a final dive down Sherlock. I mean, there's plenty of people in this tournament that can navigate the final dungeon without a torch, get all the way down to the bottom in the dark. But you're relying on bonking into the wall, and each bonk does take probably a fifth of a second. You add up enough bonks on the way down, it's probably faster just to open the menu and use a torch. And it looks like Seawolf is content to just fight the enemies right at the entrance here.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I would want to get down there for that fighter's ring. That'll make any future grinding a little bit faster.
I'm still going for sleep on the stone golem here. At this point, if you're only fighting at the entrance to the castle, you might as well just swing away and use heal more as needed, because Tentacle is only 20 tiles away outside. You can go restore your MP fairly easily. No need to waste extra turns on sleep or even stop spell. Just swing away and heal as you need. Maybe not the prettiest way of getting through the fight, but consistently going to be the fastest one.
These guys are landing these hurt mores on these blue dragons at a remarkable rate, that's for sure.
Seawolf's closing in on his next level at 7,500. Mcgrew's next one, correct me if I'm wrong, is 9,750, I believe?
$97.50 is correct. Whereas Seawolf's aiming for 7,500, he's a little closer to that than Mcgrew is to his next, so they will likely be at the same level for at least a little bit.
The difference in both of their experiences has gotten a little smaller. Seawolf's gained a little bit of ground with Mcgrew getting eaten by that blue dragon a few moments ago.
Well, this is a tournament, and only 2 people can be in a tournament race at a time, if that's a real question in the chat.
I haven't been paying too much attention to the chat. I should probably try to keep that open.
Yeah. It's gotten a little quieter recently. There's not a whole lot to comment on when these guys are just grinding away.
Yeah, this is the quiet part of the race right now. They both played relatively mistake-free games to get to this point, so anytime that happens, you usually are going to have to grind out a few levels at the end.
Yeah, and we'll probably be getting to an exciting part pretty soon here, as soon as we get to the magic level up that allows them to beat the game.
It'll be especially exciting if it's not an overpowering level. It's just one that makes victory possible. And then we'll have to see, who's willing to take a chance on that 40-50% fight. See if they can pull it off. See if they get desperate and toss out the hurt more at the end.
That is what you want to see more than anything, isn't it?
There's enough races in this tournament that someone is going to try it and successfully land the spell in the tournament, I bet. Or we'll get a situation like Shoob's, I think it was last night or the night before when he was racing. He was counting his damage throughout the fight, saw he had plenty of MP left before landing the final blow, and decided to take 2 turns to attempt to land a hurt more for a little extra show-off factor.
Right. Almost cost him the race, too.
It did. That was a really close race. See, Wolf's got level 15 now. Opening his stats menu. Doesn't like what he sees. Time to keep grinding. Mcgrew's just 2 battles away from his next level up.
He's opened up a bit more of an experience gap here again. Almost 2,000 ahead.
Yeah, see, Wolf looks like he's changing up his plans a bit there. Just ran away from a stone golem and looks like he's going to try to get to the treasure and see if the fighter's ring is down there now. So Mcgrew's got level 16, and we're going to need level 17 now, too.
I didn't see that stats page too much when you just looked at it.
I'm going to take a moment to go refill my water glass if you'll pardon me for just a minute there, bud.
Yep, go ahead. Mcgrew will be happy to take down this metal slime if the metal slime will let him have him, but he does do the little tease on him, lets him get 2 hits in, then runs away. That seems to be the most common outcome if you're fighting the metal slime. So there's an aspect for those of you who aren't familiar with the Dragon Warrior randomizer. There's Game Boy F9 has made some custom modifications to this randomizer to make the text go by much quicker and speed up a couple of other things, like a couple of the jingles in this game, to allow the play to be much faster. So we call those speed hacks. And as a general rule, we're not going to see speed hacks in the races in this tournament, but if both of the racers agree to it, then they can use them. So you might eventually see some races that use those speed hacks. I'm not sure how likely it is to happen, though, really, in the tournament. Yeah. Apparently Mcgrew is not happy with grinding in the Charlotte, because he's looks to be grinding outside now.
Just walking along the mountain range south of Sherlock.
And not getting a single encounter for dozens of steps here.
Seawolf's getting close to that treasury.
Yeah.
Assuming he can get past this armored knight and avoid any nasty encounters because he's out of MP, he should be picking up that fighter's ring.
Yeah. I always feel a little nervous when you've only got a few steps left. This armored knight could stop him cold in his tracks right here, but we'll see if he gets that fighter's ring. It's looking like he will. Of course, it's in the last chest. He checks. But
Always is.
now he's wearing it, so that'll give him a 2 attack power boost. The fighter's ring is in the normal game, but it's bugged and it actually doesn't do anything. But as part of the randomizer program, Mcgrew fixed it so that it actually does increase your attack power by 2. So, always something that's nice to have.
It does add up over the course of the final battle. It'll give you on average a half a damage per attack. So over the course of a typical Dragon Lord battle, that's an extra 6 or 7 damage. Can make all the difference whenever you have a very close fight.
Yeah. I feel like Seawolf might be happy with dying right now, but doesn't seem to have any monsters eager to fight him, so now he finally finds an armored knight that obliges for him.
And no real penalty for dying there, because they were going to go right back to the castle to restore MP anyway.
Right. I would rather die than walk to the guy that refills the magic if I don't need the gold.
Yeah, it's just a considerable less amount of steps to take. Faster. And race speed is everything.
In the old days, we used to not have that second exit out of the throne room, but ever since Mcgrew put that in, it's getting out of there pretty fast.
I remember the tagline for the first version of the randomizer that had that. Now you can die faster!
Yes. You see Mcgrew taking a death to a blue dragon over there. And we see Seawolf apparently copying Mcgrew's strats on the other side. Both of them with plenty of MP left. It's interesting.
Maybe relying a little too much on the Hurtmore strat. I think they've used up all their Blue Dragon karma earlier on when they were just landing every single Hurtmore.
The Erdrick sword was in Garenham. Whenever you get a moment, Feasel, you can add the ring to Seawolf's side. There you go. And that attack power not looking so hot on either side. 107, 109, those are not numbers you want to see. You want to see something starting with a 1, 2, and then hopefully in the higher half of that 1, 2 range.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's got to be.
If they were to fight the Dragon Lord right now, they'd be doing probably like 2 or 3 damage.
Nah, they'd be 0 to 1 with this attack. Can't even scrape them. If they tried to fight them now, they'd be praying to land 3 Hurtmores at 1 in 16 odds apiece before running out of magic.
So you would hope that they were fighting them now, then, is what you're saying.
It'd make for some interesting watching if either of them were actually able to pull it off or come close enough to get everyone real excited about it. But statistically, it's not smart. The odds are very, very bad to win a 3 Hurtmore fight.
Yeah. So, let's see, 1 in 16 is 1 in 4,096, I guess.
That's assuming that you land 3 in a row. You'll have a few more chances throughout the fight to land all 3.
Right,
so
of course.
Probably just marginally better than that. But yeah, you're still looking at worse than a 1 in 1,000 chance. Just don't do it unless you know. Unless you just somehow discover something along the way that you missed that was so obvious. You assume the other player has it and you realize you have no chance to win the race unless you try something really desperate like that. Blue Dragon claiming yet another victim. Mcgrew cutting it awfully close with his Blue Dragon. Taking a bit of a risk there. Might have had to do that small walk of shame back to Sherlock had he missed. Because there's always a very slight mischance for every single enemy.
Yeah. Mcgrew is going to get a level up here with his next fight. We'll see if that's the level.
He's already got the level, doesn't he? He's 17 now.
Oh wait. Oh yeah, you're right. He does. I don't know how I was looking at that. He must have just gotten that. I thought it was 12,750 for the level 17. Anyway, I haven't slept. Don't mind.
It's okay, man. I understand. But yeah, strength 74 at 17, that's that's sadly still not going to cut it, even though the HP and the MP, and now even the agility, they're all looking pretty nice. Still, at I guess that'd be 116 attack power. You're swinging 4 to 8 on Dragon Lord 2 with that attack stat. You really don't have a chance.
Yeah, not with that MP. You need a lot more than that.
You'd probably need over 200 MP to win, dealing on average 6 damage per attack. So the next level up for Mcgrew would be at 14,250, I believe, for level 18.
I think it's 15,000. Oh. 15,750.
I don't think it's that high. It should
Yeah.
be 19,000 divided by 3/4.
Oh, 16,500. Okay, yes. 16,500 is the last. So this is the last level up that's normally 3,000 in the regular game. After 16,500, it's 3,000 up every time from there. So, right. Hopefully they don't need beyond that next level.
Yeah, 18 is already pretty high for the way that the stats are favored in the randomizer now. 16 is about average, I'd say. You get the odd one with 17 still. You get the odd one with 18 here and there. 19 and beyond, though, I can't remember the last time I've seen a seed where that was like the required level to finish the game.
It'll definitely still happen, though.
According to Mcgrew, there's a extremely unlikely chance, but it's still possible that you could go all the way to level 30 and never see any strength increases the whole game.
Oh, really? I thought that he had it rigged so that the strength was in some sort of a range. But is it so that you would definitely get the strength at level 30?
Yeah, like there's like he has it set for like there's a minimum and a maximum value for the level 30 stats is how he explained it to me, but all the gains up until that point are entirely randomized from a table of numbers. It just assigns a number from 1 to the max stat at 30 for each of the levels. So you could go all the way to level 30 and not see anything until the end and suddenly get over 140 strength from your final level. It's not likely at all because the randomizer picks different numbers for everything. So it'd have to pick 0 or, you know, your starting number, which would be like 5 or 6 or whatever in terms of strength, and just keep picking that same number 30 times from a pool of close to 150 different numbers.
I wonder what the minimum is for starting strength.
The lowest I've seen is 4. I'm tempted to say that 4 is the lowest number.
Probably. It does seem like a lot of times you can't make damage on a Draki. I am not sure if Seawolf is planning on fighting this fight. He is in for some hurt, I think. He's only got 67 strength. Is he really going for this? Is he going for Kurtmore strats?
He's gonna have to.
Yeah, maybe.
At least if he doesn't realize he's gonna have to, he'll find out the moment he does that first attack and sees a 1 or a 2 show up. Oh, a 3. That was higher than I thought it would be. Still, at this point, I think he's got to know his only shot is to keep casting Hurt More. Yeah, he's going for it. We'll see if he can land. He'll need 3 Hurt Mores to beat him here.
He must feel like he's behind.
Yeah. And on average, it's going to take him 13 MP per attempt at Hurt More because he's still got to heal himself. So he's basically got 5, maybe 6 chances to land 3 Hurt Mores here. It's not looking too good.
Might be a minor victory if he even gets 1 to land.
You get some bragging rights at bare minimum.
At this point, you might as well just let the Dragon Lord kill you. It's not really worth your time anymore. He just casted Hurt More. Wait. 222 HP left.
Yeah. Not a 1.
Not that I'm aware of, Tristal.
That'll definitely cost him some time.
Yeah. He might have felt like he was already behind, and he definitely is behind. At this point, he's now behind 2 levels.
Well,
Did
Mcgrew just hit level 18.
Was it the magic level?
Yeah, 14 strength, so he's at a very comfortable 130 attack, and he conserved all his MP on the way down. He planned it out this way, so he should have no issue finishing the game now.
Nice.
He's got 15 castings of Heal More.
Yeah.
Well over 100 hit points, 130 attack. This fight should be basically automatic for him.
Sounds like he's good to go.
So Seawolf, unknowingly perhaps, definitely made the right call there. I mean, he had basically no reasonable shot at winning the fight, but with Mcgrew on the cusp of victory here, he really did have to take a chance there to win this race. Mcgrew said yes, or Mcgrew said no, rather than the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, saying no is important, unless you like an irreversible game over. It can only be corrected by pushing reset. Hope you saved.
Yeah, I was trying to say a few different things at once there, but yeah, that could have been another way that Seawolf could have come back if Mcgrew had accidentally said yes, because generally you don't save very often in one of these races because you don't have to reload a save. If you die, you just go back to the king, you lose some money, and you start right back at her from there. No
Right.
progress lost, really.
So you generally only save if you're trying to conserve your gold. Or I sometimes save if I want to experiment with key, maybe. But
Yeah, and then the other situation where you save is if it's a seed where you kind of really need the Gwaelin's love compass to find the overworld item. You have to talk to the king to return her, so you should just be holding A and the game will save automatically at that point.
Right. I
But
don't
generally,
know.
yes. Generally, when you say yes to the Dragon Lord, that's usually a forfeit in terms of the sheer amount of lost progress you have there. Mcgrew getting really solid damage rolls here.
Is there bonus text at the Dragon Lord when you bring the princess? Is that in the NES game? I've seen people do it.
I don't know if there's extra text there.
Yeah,
Maybe,
that
maybe
might just be.
that'll be something to try in like a practice seed. Just take the princess with you and see if there's any extra text, because I'm kind of curious now.
I expect Mcgrew to be finishing this fight any minute now. I haven't been counting, but it looks like he's had lots of comfortable rolls, so.
Yeah, Dragon Lord should go down in 2 more attacks. And there it is. Time doesn't officially stop until you go finish the dialogue with the king. So Mcgrew is going to cast Return, go talk to the king, and well-deserved round of applause for Mcgrew. He is our champion of today. He's the winner. While Seawolf is finishing up the rest of his grind, do you want to see if we can get Mcgrew in here for a post-race interview, perhaps?
That sounds reasonable to me. There he is.
Oh, he's here.
Hey, Mcgrew.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Loud and
Congratulations.
clear.
Can you hear us?
Maybe.
We can hear you, but apparently you can't hear us, huh?
Oh, you can hear me?
I can still hear you.
Yep.
Can
We
you hear
gotcha.
us?
Mcgrew seems to be having some slight technical issues here.
Well, it's not really Mcgrew, it's Discord.
Oh, okay.
It just does it with everyone. Well,
Can you
now
hear us
I
now,
think
Mcgrew?
I don't hear him saying anything. I'm guessing he probably is, but it's not showing up.
We'll get that issue sorted out in due time. We'll get Mcgrew on here. No worries, folks. Seawolf's hit level 17. Level 18 was the magic number.
You guys are still there.
Though I kind of wonder if he's going to try it now. He's running from all the enemies. Looks like he might put another attempt at it here.
I can still hear you, Mcgrew. I don't know why Discord does that. It gets a little frustrating with how many issues there are with people being unable to hear each other.
The program's still under development, though, so I imagine they'll get those issues sorted out. On the whole, I'm impressed with how robust the program is. As far as I'm concerned, it's basically obsoleted basically every other peer-to-peer voice chat program that I can think of. About the only thing it doesn't have is video conferencing.
Right. Yeah, you'd still want to use Skype or something like that, but
You guys hear me now?
I can hear you, Mcgrew. Can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you now. Okay, different browser. That seems to work better
you
there.
can hear him.
Yeah, can you hear him, Coper?
No, I'll just try refreshing this time.
Oh man, Discord.
Okay. Now I can hear. I thought I heard Mcgrew. Jack,
Can you hear me?
I can hear
still
you.
here.
Okay, I can hear both of you. That's good.
Oh,
It's
finally.
All right.
Here we go. So, Mcgrew, congratulations on your victory.
Thank you. How about that metal slime right off the bat?
Yeah.
That was a very impressive start. Gave you a pretty big early advantage. Seawolf wasn't able to get that same metal slime kill for, I think it was about 10 minutes after you had gotten your first kill. He was just grinding some of the weaker enemies right outside the castle.
Yeah, it actually kind of worked out better than it could have for Seawolf, because I was thinking, man, he's going to be stuck grinding these ghosts and red slimes near the castle forever. But then a metal slime popped up, and he got lucky enough to kill it too,
Nice.
even despite the hurt. So,
Yeah, I was
that worked
surprised.
out.
I was just kind of exploring a little bit and came up on that metal slime, and then first shot, yeah, excellent, moved it. So I was feeling pretty good at that point.
Right. When it's casting hurt at you, you don't have much of a window to get it dead. I mean,
Right.
if it's doing 1 damage to you, then you can sit and attack it for quite a while. But if it's casting hurt, you're not going to be surviving that very long at a low level. So, yeah, I thought that was going to give you a huge advantage, but Seawolf did get a metal slime down.
That helped him out, I guess.
Not too long later. But he was behind you in experience most of the run by a level or so.
Yeah, see, he's going to try to fight the Dragon Lord at 17, looks like.
He actually already tried at 16 and then realized that wasn't enough, so he just tried more strats for...
strats.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
didn't land any.
Yeah, I was watching my strength, and I think it was 74 at level 16, maybe.
Right.
Yeah. And then
All right.
level 17, I looked at it, and it still didn't seem. I think it was 79, maybe, and it still wasn't enough. I don't remember exactly, but I looked at it and didn't think it was enough to, even with all the MP I had, I didn't think it was enough to take on Dragon Lord. So
It was actually 74 strength at level 17, and you get 14 at level 18. So
right,
you went
yeah,
up to 80.
17. I got about half the experience to get to 18, and then I thought, well, I should go down to the bottom floor and at least, maybe this level will be enough. I figured if I got at least about 7, that would be enough to take him on with the MP I had. So, or at least give it a shot.
And then you saw the 14 and you knew it was over. No
Right, I
questions
just saw the
asked.
14. I was like, oh yeah, this is easy now. So straight to Dragon Lord, and yeah, I figured I could get about half the experience to get to 18, and then fight the easy enemies on the way down, and that would give me the level without having to use any MP.
Mm-hmm.
That worked out pretty well for you.
So Mcgrew, we can't actually hear either of you racers while the race is going on. I mean, everyone generally has their microphones disabled for one of these. But there was one point about halfway through the race where you were repeatedly taking the old man's money, saving up for a flame sword. And then less than a minute later, you found Erdrick's sword in Garenham. Could you give us a brief recreation of your exact reaction at that moment?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I was just kind of like, man, because I had completely forgot about those 3 chests back there, and or I would have checked those first. But I was thinking, well, the sword, I don't know where the sword is. It's probably in the grave or in the mountain cave. So I was thinking, well, I'll go ahead and get the flame sword because I need something a little better than what I had. I had the hand axe, and so I was like, well, I can slow grind this man at least to get a flame sword and then a large shield, and then try to find the grave in the mountain cave. And then after I went to Cantlin, I remembered, wait, Garenham, that's right up here, and there's chests there. Went in there, and there was a sword, and I never found the mountain cave or Garen's grave because I didn't need him anymore.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I hadn't made that.
Not very often that you go into a seed without going into either the mountain cave or Garen's grave.
Right, because I made that early dive just to see if the sword was there, because I figured that's where the most chests were at that point, and I knew where it was. So I made that dive into Sharlock and found the fighter's ring, and then when I found the sword, that was everything. So
yeah, it's an interesting strategy to dive that early, because if you dive into the Grave of Garen or the Mountain Cave early, you're gonna probably get a lot of encounters that aren't gonna help you out a whole lot as far as experience goes.
right, yeah, and with Hurtmore, I figured I could survive it to get down there and find out what was in that treasury.
Yeah, you were pretty well off except for your strength for the most part, so it made sense to go down there and grind while you did, and I think that gave you a bit of an advantage because you were doing that, and then you had the ring for much longer than Seawolf had it. He took quite a while before he went down there to get it.
Yeah, that was, like I said, that was kind of a strategy decision because I didn't know where the mountain cave or Garen's grave were. So, and the treasury in Dragonor's castle has more chests anyway than either of those. So
yeah, it's almost a 50-50 proposition at that point whether it's going to be in there.
And since I already knew where it was, I thought I could grind on the way down. That would be a better use of my time.
It makes sense. I don't think I've ever dove into the castle into Sharlock before without knowing either what was in the mountain cave or the Grave of Garen, but you rarely get both the stones and the staff without going into either of those places.
Yeah.
Either. So
yeah, that was a little bit of a lucky find, finding all the items without going into those. And like I said, I just didn't come across them. I had forgotten about the Garenham. I'm sure one of the two was back there, but Yeah, it turned out I didn't need to dive, so
Fires ring never hurt anything, especially with the strength that you had here.
All right, guys. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna have to take off a little early here. My little one has just gotten home from school, so I'm gonna go need to tend to her now. So, congrats again on winning, Mcgrew. Jay Coper, thanks for having me along for co-commentary. It was fun. And,
thanks for joining me last minute.
Yeah, no worries, buddy. And good luck to Seawolf finishing things off here. And all you guys in Speed Gaming chat, have yourselves a great afternoon. Be sure to follow both the runners, and I will catch all you guys again sometime soon.
I don't know if they have command here.
it looks like Seawolf is getting close to level 18. He's going to see that power up.
Yeah, he'd already be there by now easily if he hadn't taken a couple of fruitless attempts at the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, probably so.
And how big of a letdown is it to find coal pretty easy, early like you did, and then there to be nothing there?
Yeah, I was a little disappointed there, but at least that told me the token was in a chest. But yeah, and then I found Hawksness and went and there was a golem there, and I was like, well, I'm not fighting him right now, definitely.
Yeah. I think the Golem was at least beatable with Stop Spell and Heal More, though.
Might have been. I didn't even attack him to even find out what he had, so I just
Yeah, I think he had normal attacked you once, but I think we didn't see a Dragon Lord Fire Breath from him until Seawolf fought him.
Yeah, I figured I would be better off to find Caitlin first, and then get the Overworld item, and then if that was the flute, then that would help me fight the Golem. And if not, then I didn't need to fight the Golem. So.
Right, exactly. The biggest concern at that point would be if the walk to the Overworld spot wasn't really countable, and then guarding the princess was another Golem.
Yeah,
that would
have
might have been rough. Yeah, that would have shaped the seed a little differently, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
You both had a little difficulty counting to it. Seawolf at one point gave up and restarted, but you just ended up searching like 20 spots there, it seemed like.
Yeah, I knew I was at 61 South, but I had lost count of how far west I was, so I knew it was on that line somewhere. I just kept searching until I found it.
So Seawolf was pretty close here. He needs to get to 14,250, so one more fight after this one.
Yep.
And he'll have that magic level. And he'll definitely be happy to see that 14 strength increase.
Right. Yeah, I didn't see. I guess there was no MP increase for 18, so it didn't really help me out. Wouldn't have helped me to stay up above ground anyway.
Yeah. Yep. They got the same MP at both levels. You did get 14 HP as well. Go with the 14 strength.
Oh yeah, I did see it. I basically saw the 14 strength and was like, well, okay, this fight's over. Yeah, I felt like if I had got at least 81 strength with the MP I had, I at least had a shot at Dragon Lord. So I figured it was better to get that level on the bottom floor.
These blue dragons, it seemed like every time early in the seed we saw you guys fighting them, you were landing both of you were landing every single hurt more against them. Then later they were killing both of you left and right. Kind of an interesting contrast.
Yeah.
Oh, you can just
Yeah,
cast... I didn't know you could cast Return from the top floor of the Charlock.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I think so. Once you go down one level, you can't, but I think you can from inside.
Yeah, I knew you couldn't cast outside, but I didn't know you could just cast Return. That's interesting. Okay, well, Seawolf should be good to go. It's good to see him finish it off.
Yep. Yeah, at least trudging through it.
You won't have to do any grinding on the way down like you did.
Yeah. Run from everything at this point. You don't really need anything else.
So since we have a couple minutes while we're waiting for him here, and you did make this program, do you have any thoughts on things you might have planned for the Dragon Warrior Randomizer in the future?
One of the things, probably the next version, I'm planning to bring the Silver Heart back. The guy who normally has the Staff of Rain will have it every time. And the Silver Harp, you have to find the Silver Harp and bring that. And bring that to him to get the Staff of Rain. I thought that might add a little more searching, so less grinding at the end, slightly. But there's that. There's debate still about making the Death Necklace actually do something. Making it 100% to show up in the chest, and making it actually do something like add strength and remove some of your HP or something. But that's still kind of just an idea right now that I want to get some feedback on. Kind of make an interesting strategy.
Yeah. Are you saying you'd add strength, or would you add attack power?
I guess strength doesn't do anything aside from create attack power. I think it might have been attack power, but either way.
Right.
Because it's strength to attack power is 1-to-1, right? I believe. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking, something like maybe adding 10 strength, but removing 25% of your max HP. So, that might be a strategic decision to fight Dragon Lord slightly earlier, but at the same time you'd be cursed, and if you died, you don't get your HP back or your MP when you die. So that would be, the penalty, losing your HP and being cursed and not being able to enter Tanager.
And you know what I want to see?
What was it you wanted to see?
A death counter.
Oh yeah, death counter. Yeah, I think Darkonis was kind of working on that, but I think he got sidetracked by another project, so he's not working on it right now. So I might look into that. I do want to have that actually. Especially if I can find some. I think there's a couple of spots in the SRAM that are free that I could save that. If I can find some bytes to write, some assembly in there to do that. Yeah, I would like to see that too. I'd like to see a death counter and maybe a timer if possible, to show you how long you played. Although most people, have a separate timer, but
yeah,
at the end of the game, on the end screen, it could tell you how many times you died and how long it took, and
sure. I've definitely considered tracking the deaths, but it's kind of a hassle, so.
Yeah, it is kind of, because there are a lot of them, generally.
Sometimes more than others, though. The really good seeds, you might die 5 or fewer times, even.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't have too many deaths this seed. I had a few that, were probably avoidable, but... Yeah,
there were some deaths you had with the MP almost flawless. Like, ooh, it doesn't look so good there, but...
Yeah.
In the end,
I think I tried to run from a blue dragon once, and and died, and I seem to remember fighting a blue dragon once. And I thought that hit was going to kill him, and it didn't, so he killed me. But
Yep.
yeah, being that I was grinding in Charlock, and it wasn't far from Tanagel, so I wasn't too concerned. But yeah, it did probably cost me a little bit of time.
Oh, we finally have Seawolf at the Dragon Lord.
Yep.
Shouldn't have any issues here.
Yeah, it should be a pretty easy fight. 15 damage. It's. I'm watching a restream, so I'm a little behind you, but
It's all good.
yeah.
Have you considered any other projects, like any other randomizers? Or I know you've been busy in real life a lot.
Yeah, I've been pretty busy the last few weeks in real life, which I haven't been in a lot of the races. But yeah, I've thought about it, but I just haven't really thought of a game that would seem like it'd be good to, fun to randomize. But yeah, I might come up with one at some point.
Yeah, it seems like you have a pretty broad variety of games that you play, and they're
Yeah,
the
I know
games
that.
I've seen you play don't stand out as ones that would be randomizable so much.
Right, yeah, a lot of like Mega Man games. I know Duckfist is working on a Mega Man 2 randomizer, but seems like a kind of a strange game to randomize.
Yeah, well, there's a thing about that too. There actually is another randomizer out there for Mega Man 2, I think. And there might be some for other Mega Man games as well.
I know there's one for Mega Man X, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I have a lot of work to do on updating the randomizer list, and I want to try to get there's a few different lists out there. I want to try to get everyone on the same page.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know you had that big list of randomizers, and of course, Game Boy developed the randomizers for Dragon Warrior 2, 3, and 4.
Yep.
So those are kind of out. Maybe at some point I'll try to help him with that. But
yeah,
he had to write them in C#, one of the languages I'm not that familiar with. So that's why I haven't jumped in already.
I see. What is yours written in?
Mine's written in Python.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, the command line isn't bad. I do like having the
graphical interface.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
nice.
that's probably another thing I want to do. I've kind of designed a graphic interface for it, but I haven't. I haven't finished that up yet. But that might show up in the next version.
Nice.
That's probably another thing I want to do. I've kind of designed a graphic.
Did we hear?
But I think I heard. Yeah, it looks like he's on the Discord
yet, but that might show up in the next version.
Talked yet. There he is.
Yes, that's you. Hello. Congratulations on finishing.
You got it. Thank you. Oof, that was a paltry stat seed.
Yeah, the strength was pretty lacking.
Yeah, stats were pretty good except for strength. That was the one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I rolled down there at 16, figured give it a shot with all the MP I had, and I swung for a massive 3 and started casting Hurt More really fast.
That would have been one way to lose for me out of
Yeah, so it turns out, Seawolf, that might have been about your only hope of winning at that point, because Mcgrew was decently far ahead on experience, and
he was way ahead. I'm curious how, because I fought a few metal slimes pretty early on.
He actually had a metal slime earlier than you.
Yeah, my first enemy was a metal slime, and I killed it with an excellent move.
There you go. I'll do it.
Yeah, I was a little surprised.
So you had Hurt More within the first 3 minutes, probably?
Yeah, I mean, I walked around that swamp where Tanagel was down toward Charlock, and I ran into a metal slime because I was just decided to explore a little bit first before I, to see if I could spin that gold.
Yeah, and I could see The zone 0 by the castle, the 6 spaces I was walking around in a circle, did not have no slimes, but 2 spaces north of me did. So I just missed the slime zone.
Yeah, I think I might have fought one enemy. Yeah, that's right. I fought a ghost the first level, and I probably should have healed more, but it killed me before I killed it.
Yeah, the ghost had stop spell too. So the first time I fought it, I was like, "Oh, this will be easy. Stop spell. Oh, never mind." I'm a life and death fight with a ghost.
Yeah. Then when I came back out of the castle, I walked around the swamp up to the north and around it, and then ran into the metal slime. And well, let's give it a shot. He cast hurt, and I was like, "Oh, that's not looking good." And then I excellent moved him. So yeah, put me to level 6. I don't know what level got hurt more at, but
I think it was 6 as well, because I got to level 2 and I killed one with the 6 myself and had hurt more. So probably 5 or 6.
Yeah, somewhere in that, somewhere 3, 4, 5, or 6. But yeah, then once I had hurt more, I was like, well, okay, there's no point in staying in zone 0 now. So
Also, I couldn't get to the bottom of the caves. I ran the red dragons in both caves pretty early on, so I could never get to the actual last few chests.
in what, Mountain Cave and
Garen's
Garen's
Grave.
I actually never found them.
Really?
Yeah.
Have to. But yeah, no fun police in Charlock, just all in the caves.
Yep. Yeah, I did not. Yeah, I made an early dive into Sharlock around level 11, I think, or so.
Oh, wow.
And found the fighter's ring. I thought, well, that's where the most chests are at this point, because I didn't know where Garen's Grave or Mountain Cave were. So I made a dive to see if the sword was down there, and I did find the fighter's ring, but not the sword.
There you go. I missed the. What did I do? I missed the token cave. I couldn't find that shrine for about an hour or so. So I walked around it a few times, and I just jumped to the cave just out of curiosity, and sure enough, it was a shrine I hadn't seen yet. So there you have it.
Yep. And I just and then after I made that dive, then I remembered I grounded a little bit on the slow grind on that one shrine to get enough for the flame sword, because I hadn't found Edric's sword yet. And then I remembered, wait, there are chests in Garenham that I haven't checked yet.
Yeah.
And, well, there was the sword. Like 2 minutes after I bought the flame sword, I got Edric's sword. So
Teach you how it works.
Yeah.
So Mcgrew's going to move on to face the winner of Unos and JLo. That match is to be determined, hopefully happening sometime soon. And then Seawolf's going to move on to face the loser of that match.
I'll probably see you again in about a week and a half.
No.
That's kind of strange. Yeah. That's kind of strange.
Yes. Seawolf's is facing the loser of Unos and JLo.
Okay, as I say, it's kind of strange pathing to have me face the same guy twice in a row at the first
No. That does not happen in these challenge tournaments. No, you would. But it is quite common for the winners to face off in one match, and then the losers to face off on the other side. So that's kind of how it usually goes. So
that and it looks like there's only 2 matches left in the first round still.
Yeah, that's great. And then the last one is actually scheduled. Zarnex and the last one other than the one I just mentioned. Zarnex and Captain Mars is scheduled for this Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So beyond that, we are waiting on a bunch of second round matches and first round of the losers bracket matches.
Yep. Game Boy mentioned that if your match is not for another week or so, you still can run the match in the time frame. Right. So it might not be a big drought of matches. You might be actually surprised at how many show up in the next few days.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. Brestico said something about going out of town, so I'm hoping to set up a match with him soon.
Yep. I'm
going to be out of town a lot in October, although I might get my computer set up and stuff somewhere. So, but I'd prefer to get some braces done here if I can. But anyway.
Few interesting matches in the next round. Looks like, Nest Cardinality and MPI should be a good one, I think.
Definitely.
Well, maybe.
I'm looking forward to Game Boy and High Spirits.
Yeah, that one too.
Start over at the bottom.
Yeah, actually, those are 2 good matches there, and then the winner of those 2. So
definitely. Oof. Alrighty. Anything else we can take care of, or I'd say we're good to go.
Think so, yeah.
I am good to go.
Thanks for the race, Seawolf, and I guess good luck in the losers bracket.
All right. Same to you in the winners bracket. Have fun out there.
Yeah, if I have to face Eunice, it's going to be a tough one, I think, for me. But
It's all right. Just find metal slime the first
We'll
3
see.
steps. You'll be
yeah,
good.
that's all I need to do, right? Just
Should just find those metal slimes at level 1. That's all you got to do.
yeah, just immediately kill about 3 of those, and they'll be good to go.
So, anyway, I think we're done here. Unless Fiesel has anything to add, I think we're signing off. I don't know what's next for the Speed Gaming channel, or if Fiesel has any sort of raid in mind. Okay. So Fiesel gets a bit of a break, and so does everyone else. I'm probably gonna get some sleep. Other people might have to actually do things. I don't know.
I know I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm still unemployed at the moment, so I'm not doing anything today other than this. So start my new job until next week. So
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
yeah, which is what I've been doing in real life is job hunting, and there's been a lot of. That's why I've been so busy.
Yeah.
Well,
It'd be good to get back to some stability, I guess.
yeah.
So, looks like Dr. Mario in 4 hours from now, or so. So, I guess if you people want to watch some Dr. Mario races, come back then. Or just stay here and wait patiently in the chat. You're free to do that.
Just chill out for a few hours. It'll be
Cool.
all right, guys.
Maybe.
Well,
So,
Time to move on out.
we'll see y'all then. Have a good day, everyone.
Take care, everybody.
thanks everybody.